What's up everybody, Otaku Kent here, and welcome to the very first Otaku Talk. This is where I, Otaku Kent, bring to you anime, manga, give you my thoughts, my feelings, my anger, my sorrows, my joys, all that wrapped up from anime and manga. Because, you know, they go together, whether we like it or not. Whether you prefer to read, prefer to watch, it's all one thing.
Ha! Gay!
Now today, I'm going to talk about Negima. Sadly not the manga. I know, very disappointing. We instead have to venture out into the disappointment that is the first anime of Negima. I say the first because the second season is technically a second series and is not canon to the story. Neither is this ending, but we're going to get to that later. Warning right now, there will be spoilers. Now, without further ado, this is Negima. Now, before I talk about the anime, let me give you some background. Negima, or Magical Teacher Negima, as it's known in Japan, was written by Ken Akamatsu, one of my favorite manga artists. After the success of his last series, Love Hina, he began his newest series we would come to know here in the States as Negima. The original run of Negima was from February 2003 to March 2012. It was about a 10-year-old boy named Negi Springfield who just finished his wizarding school in some part of Wales, England, but now must be sent to finish his training overall. What's his assignment? Why, being an English teacher at an all-girls middle school. At first, the anime seems very cutesy, harem-ish. Some of the girls start to feel feelings for their 10-year-old teacher. We're not going into that discussion today. That's another ballpark. But boy, does the story turn when the big villain shows up, threatening the world, the magical world, Negi and his class. They of course eventually save everything, thereby finishing the series within 38 volumes. Now with the manga of this size, you must be thinking that it's bound to have a good anime. Well, yes and no. Let me explain. On one hand, it followed the manga very well throughout the majority of its run. However, toward its end, it took its own path because it caught up to the manga. Now here's what doesn't make sense to me. You got 26 episodes, you're caught up to the manga. What do most series do? Well, if you're like Attack on Titan, you go on a hiatus, right? I mean, years hiatus, your fans will still stick around. Am I wrong? No. But here's what they did. Here's the normal story. As you can see, it goes along pretty straight. Well, when they caught up, they did this. Why they did it, I don't know. Because here's the thing. The manga got very good. From epic battles to actually seeing the magical world itself. Even finding out the magical world itself is in Mars. I know what you're thinking. The magical world's in Mars, technological advancements, they're Martians. I'm not going to talk about Mars attacks. Just because I showed it doesn't mean I'm going to talk about it. So instead of continuing with the manga, they decided to let Asuna, one of the major characters, be a major cop-out by saying she made a deal with the Demon King, or the Devil in the English dub, and that after her 14th birthday she would have to die by giving her soul to the devil. Okay, I have a few problems with this. One, you already know. They could have stopped, had a hiatus, and let the manga keep going. Yes, the author, Akamatsu, does not have a set schedule when he makes his work. We all know this. However, that does not give the excuse of just stopping. Two, they picked such a cliche ending, where it just didn't even seem like they cared at all. And three, my biggest issue is with the Pactios. which are contracts between the wizard and another person, giving the other person magical abilities and weapons. And Negi, our character, does this with all the girls. While in the manga, he only makes contracts with all but 6 girls. And even then, we can only see about half of them do the actual ceremony. And some of them are still dud contracts. But that's because the Pactios require a kiss on the lips. But that's a different can of worms. It upsets me because the anime got so good and then just turned. While the manga got darker, we saw sides of Negi and his class that we didn't see in the anime whatsoever. Even in that second series that we're still not going to talk about today. I don't like it at all. It doesn't even... It's not canon! How do you make a series that's not canon when your source material is so freaking good? And he even picked a girl. Out of the entire class, he eventually got together with one. We don't find out which one, but at least he picked one. Here, in this anime abomination, we get Bupkis. Zip. Zilch. Eventually there was a second anime. Like I said, we're not going to talk about that one. And a movie. But it still doesn't do the manga justice. Now, still, I gotta give this anime a B-. The manga, its material was so good. And they did so well up to that point. But the ending was just so bad. I don't even understand why they could even fathom doing something like this. Animes today would not get wrung out, hung up to dry, and just left there. You would actually get a solid ending. They wouldn't do a major cliche. In a lot of new ones today, you would not get that. So at the end of the day, I still think you should give it a shot. It's an older anime. It came out quite a bit ago. There's no high definition. But it's still a good story. And if you don't feel like watching this, whether you can find it online or not, I highly suggest reading the manga. I mean, yes, over 30 volumes, it's long, but it just makes it all worth it. And its sequel is pretty good too. Guys, I'm Otaku Kent. This is Otaku Talk. And I hope you all remember to stay a little random. And I promise you, my next review, next Otaku Talk, will not take this long to get out to you. In fact, I can tell you right now, get a fork and knife, because it's going to get tasty.